This next fella's new on the scene. He's a true amateur. He's only been around a little while, so let's give a little bit of love to him. His name is Chet Kennedy.
All right, that's Chet Kennedy. And I've been married 18 years. For those of you who are wondering, I look so young, but I am not that young. And even though I've been married 18 years, I still have no idea how to be the husband I'm supposed to be for my wife. And it all started with a cactus. Right, when we were first married, we were having a fight, right? You know how you have fights, right? I was going out and I went to a floral shop. Right, like a store where you sell flowers. Right? And I'm in there and I'm thinking to myself, like, I should just buy the flowers. Right? Because that's what guys do, right? They show up and they think the easy thing to do would just be buy the flowers. Just buy the flowers, bring them home, everything's good. But of course, we don't buy the flowers. That seems too easy, seems too simple. So we go and buy something else because we're complete morons, right? And so what I did is I saw a little cactus. And I saw it was a cute cactus, though. It was cute, and it had like this little desert scene. It had like its own little plastic case and a little plastic tumbleweed and a little plastic skull of like a dead animal. And I thought, oh, this is great. I'm going to bring this home. And so I brought it home and I gave it to my beautiful wife, and she's so happy, right? Because I gave her a gift. And I was just like, oh, I win, right? And then she asks me the question, why did you bring me a cactus? And it was one of those things where I'm going, oh, if I just lied, right? Like if I just made up a story like, I would crawl through the desert on my hands and knees for you. I would bring you water to touch a drop of cold water onto your lips. That would have been a great story. Right? That would have been a great story. But instead, that question's like a floater pitch in baseball. Right? It's coming at you. You don't know how fast it's coming, but at any point it's gonna, you're gonna strike out. And that's exactly what happened. Because I said, well, the cactus, it reminded me of your mood. Prickly. And that's when I learned the meaning of the word sleeping in the doghouse. Right? That became, somewhere I tended to sleep for my married life. But when you're married and you got kids, you get to do some epic adventures, some great things. One of the things that I did with my kids is one day we were supposed to clean the house. You know how you do that when you're supposed to clean the house? And instead we filmed like this epic Star Wars adventure movie. Right? The three kids, I put them in costumes and we did the whole thing. And another time when I'm out and I'm doing the Easter Bunny's job, and I'm planting little Easter eggs all over the living room. Right? And I'm planting in the living room, the kitchen, in the hallway, and then I get this great idea. And sometimes what I should learn, and I've never learned, is when you have a great idea and it's going to be epic and awesome, maybe you should think just a little harder. Just a little harder. But instead what I did is I planted all those little Easter eggs all over their rooms and in their beds and beside their pillows. And I thought it'd be so cool because they'd wake up in the morning and they'd be like, the Easter Bunny was in my room, which is kind of creepy, that mythical creature was in my room watching me sleep. But instead what happened, I forgot that when my children sleep, they're like little ovens. Right? And so when they woke up in the morning, there was these brown smears all over their beds, all over their sheets, and their pajamas, all over their pillows, and all over their disappointed faces. Daddy, why did the Easter Bunny go yuckies in my room? Probably because of something you did, right? Like that's always the best answer for any dad ever. So, my kids also, when they were younger, we took a lot of pictures. partially because my wife is like photography kind of addict. This is before Instagram, even before Facebook. And so we got all the little kids, and they're like taking poses, and they're so used to this that on cue they can smile, right? On cue they can pose. But one of these photo sessions has gone way too long, right? And so the kids are upset. You know, my wife she's pissed because of course it's my fault. Right? It's my fault that none of them are smiling. You know, the little rodents. Right? They're not smiling, they're not behaving, and so my wife, they're all posed, my wife is kneeling, she's behind the camera, and I've got my head just kind of on her shoulder, right, and I'm making all kinds of faces because it's somehow my fault that the kids aren't laughing or happy, and, you know, the whole thing just kind of generates, and I'm not proud of what happened. Alright, I'm not a cannibal, I am not a zombie, and there's never any excuse for domestic violence. But I kind of, you know, I just got fed up, and so I bit her. You know, like the whole thing just generated into this, and I bit her, right? And it wasn't like a little bite, it was like this open mouth, right on the shoulder, just, right? And she, of course, then like screamed, and all three of my kids laughed. And we got a great picture. We got a great story. And I got to sleep in the doghouse. Yeah, there we go. But my kids are a lot older now. Actually, my daughter is in grade 12. I know, it's hard to believe. And so a few weeks ago, we had a garage sale because I figured it's time to start saving money for her college education fund. And the hardest thing for me at garage sales is I can sell anything except for exercise equipment. Right? Because they look at me and they're like, does this work? Yes. Theoretically. First world problems are something that I'm okay with that, but the one thing we haven't solved is that whole peeing in the pool thing. Right? Like the best thing we could come up with as a Western civilization is the blue dye. Right? The blue dye. When we were on a tour with our students in Ecuador, they took us to this tour where we were learning the culture, we were learning the traditions, and they were teaching us the different wildlife. And one of the things they introduced me to in a jar was a fish about the size of my hand. Right? Now, when they told me that this fish is native to Ecuador and it swims in all of their lakes, all their streams, all their rivers, anywhere we're going to be swimming. And so I thought, this is creepy. I don't want my kids interacting with this thing. And she said, oh, no. This fish starts out microscopic. And what happens is when you pee in the water, this fish is attracted to urine. And it swims into you. And it lodges in your parts. And then it feeds off the nutrients in your urine and grows to be the size of your hand. And at that point, you either get surgery, something cut off, or you die. And so as far as I'm concerned, in Canada, you pee in the water, you could possibly get the blue dye. But in Ecuador, you pee in the water, you just die. And I don't ever pee in the water anymore. My name is Chet Kennedy. Thank you very much.